again, Mark here from Talkingbass. This week we're going to be taking a look at odd time signatures and working through 5 simple riffs that should help with getting over any of the fears that you have of counting and feeling all those weird numbers. But before we begin, just let me know in the comments if there are any specific odd time riffs or songs that you'd like me to break down. Odd time signatures can be a real pain to play when you're just getting started on them, and sometimes a little bit of advice in terms of counting or feeling them can go a long way. As always, the lesson material is all there over at Talkingbass, so just click on the link in the info below and you'll find the sheet music, tab and backing tracks all there ready for you to play along. Then, while you're there, check out the lesson map where you'll find hundreds more lessons, all systemized and organized for ease of navigation. Then if that's not enough for you, sign up for the free membership to gain access to a ton of different practice resources and downloads, all there in the practice area. Okay, so the first riff that we're going to look at is in 7/4 and sounds like this. So before we get started with the notes in there, what is this time signature 7/4 all about? Well, an odd time signature is no different to any other time signature in how it's written. A time signature is basically just written like a fraction. So the most common time signature is 4/4, which when you see it as a fraction is simply 4 quarters. In musical terms, that's 4 quarter notes, or more specifically 4 quarter notes in a bar. If I count a 4/4 pulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of those beats are quarter notes. Now for 7/4, again, it's just a fraction, 7 quarters. So that's 7 quarter notes in a bar, which I can count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now there's obviously more to time signatures than counting. When you listen to music, the aim isn't to count. You want to enjoy and feel the music, and the same is true of playing. To truly play in an odd time signature, you really have to learn to feel it. But you have to start somewhere, and there's always going to be a bit of counting and subdivision to work through. So first let's just work through the notes of this riff in 7/4, and then I'll give you some tips on counting it. So we're in the key of E minor, and we begin on an open E. Okay, so open E string. Then we move up to the E there at the 7th fret of the A string. Then to the D at the 5th fret of the A string. Then we hit the open E, and then the B at the 7th fret of the E string. So this is with a swing feel there. So then we come up G, A, B, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret on the E string. Okay, so all of that bar. Again, 3, 4. For the second bar, the first half is exactly the same, all the way to that B at the 7th fret of the E string, but then we move up to the G at the 5th fret of the D string, and then we have E, D, E, 7th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret on the A string. And that's it. So that second bar. Okay, so we put those 2 bars together, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the notes, but how is best to count or feel this? Well, many odd time signatures are broken up into smaller rhythmic groupings, usually 2s and 3s or 4s and 3s. Now, this 7/4 can be counted as a 4 and a 3. So think of a bar of 4/4 and then a bar of 3/4 round and round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now, each of those time signatures, 4/4 and 3/4, will have their own feel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very square. And then for the 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's got a very rolling feel. So when you combine those two, you get a bit of both. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So if we break that riff up into its component parts of a bar of 4/4 and a bar of 3/4, for the 4/4 we get Okay, so that's the 4/4 part, the first 4 beats, round and round. And then for the 3/4, we have, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Put them both together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you're really feeling 4/4 and then 3/4, round and round. So let's try that with the drum track. You'll get a count of 7 with a fill on the last beat. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so let's have a look at another riff, this time in 5/4 with a swing feel, and it sounds like this. 4, 5. Now, this riff will probably have a very familiar sound. You might recognize it as being similar to Take 5 by Dave Brubeck or the Mission Impossible theme. This is a very popular way of phrasing the accents in 5/4 because we get 4 hits just like in 4/4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just that that second beat in there is a little bit perverted. So a straight count of 5/4 would be 5 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But with this accenting, we have a hit on 1, the and of 2, 4, and 5. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. 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 Now, this focus on accents is really important in learning to feel odd time signatures because it gets us out of that strict locked-in quarter note count. Instead of a rigid count, you can feel the accents much easier. So let's work through the notes in the riff. Now, we're in the key of E flat minor, which I know is a little bit of an annoying key signature, but bear with it. So we begin on an E flat there at the 6th fret of the A string, and then we drop down to the 5th there, which is the B flat at the 6th fret of the E string. Then we come back up chromatically, D flat, D natural to the E flat. So 4th, 5th, and 6th fret on the A string. So that's the first little bit. So we're back up to that E flat, then we're back down to the B flat again, to the 5th of the chord, 6th fret of the E string, and then we have G flat, the D flat, so 4th fret D string, 4th fret A string, and then back to the E flat again. So same again as the first part, and then for the final bar of the 4 there, we actually play the straight 5 quarter notes in there. So we've got the E flat, then we've got the C up there at the 5th fret of the G string, up to the D flat at the 6th fret, and then down A flat, G flat, 6th fret, 4th fret on the D string. And if you want to put in a little ghost note or anything like that, little open string, you can do. But remember, this is all in a swing feel. So put all of that together and we have... So, as I mentioned before, we're outlining the accents in there. We have 1, the and of 2, 4, and 5. So, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. And like I said, remember it's swing, so it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's how you count that. So try it slowly, build up speed, always focusing on those accents in there, and then you can try with the track. So we get a counting of 5 here. Next up, for riff number 3, let's move beyond quarter notes and move into 8th note time signatures. This is in the time signature of 7/8 and sounds like this. Seven-eight is, as with all time signatures, a fraction, so 7/8. This means we have 7/8 notes in a bar. 8th note meters are easier to understand when you relate them to the quarter note time signatures. Remember, 8th notes are half the value of quarter notes, so for every quarter note, we get 2 8th notes. So in 4/4, counting 8th notes, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we were to count 4/4 at a certain tempo, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 7/8 would be using those 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, round and round, bar of 4/4, bar of 7/8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This riff is in D minor and we start with these first 2 bars. Okay, so we start on a D, 5th fret of the A string, then we move up to the 5th of the chord, which is the A at the 7th fret of the D string, so we've just got that 5th there, then we move up to the C at the 5th fret of the G string, so that's the flat 7 there, and then back to the 5th there, the A at the 7th fret of the D string. That's your first bar of 7/8. Then we come up again, D and the A, 5th fret A string, 7th fret on the D string, and then we have this little group of 3 here, D, C, and A. So 7th fret, 5th fret, and 7th fret on the D string. So G string, and then the D string. So okay, so that's the first 2 bars, and we play around that twice. And then we move all of that down to C, but this is going to be C major. So we pretty much play it the same, it's just that the 7th in there is different. It's a major 7th instead of a flat 7 or minor 7. So we move to the C there and up to the G, so 3rd fret A string, 5th fret D string. And then we have the B there, which is that major 7th I was talking about, at the 4th fret of the G string. Back to the G, up again, and then C, B, G. 5th fret, 4th fret, G string, 5th fret, D string. Around again, and back. So once you have those notes under your fingers, how is best to count them? Well, the subdivision here is 4 and 3, or 2 and 2 and 3, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, which when you put that with the notes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you can hear the groupings in there. Now that's all well and good, thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But another way to count this is to just think of those accents in half time. So if we count it as the basic 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we kind of think of that half time and just think of the accents there, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so you can see how I'm turning the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're missing off the and at the end, which makes sense because 7/8 notes is 1/8 note less than 4/4. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 So just get used to that, knocking off that and at the end. And then you can just turn that into 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take the ands out. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're just getting that little hiccup at the end though. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay? So let's work through that riff again slowly and you'll hear those accents in there. So I'll count in with those accents. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so start out slowly, just focusing on those accents, build up speed, and then you can try with the track. The count in here is going to be using 2 bars of our half-time count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so next we have a riff in 15/8, which I know sounds a little nuts, but bear with me. It's easy when you know how. So the riff is in A minor and it sounds like this. Now, the easy way to deal with this riff is to just learn the notes and play them. It's a consistent stream of 8th notes, so you don't have to think about the rhythm too much. Just play them one after another and the time signature pretty much takes care of itself. However, it will always help to know what groupings we're dealing with, which I'll cover in a second. So, as I mentioned earlier, this riff's in A minor and we begin with 3 open A strings. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Then we move up to the C at the 10th fret of the D string, so. And back to the open A. So a lot of this is moving between fretted notes and open strings, so. Then we move to the 12th fret of the A string, the A there. And again, back to the open A, so. And we play that twice. 1, 2, okay. Then we move up to the B at the 9th fret of the D string and back to the open A. And then G, 10th fret of the A string and back to the open A again. And then finally we have this little group of 3. So we have G, 10th fret of the A string, pull off to the open A, and then we play the A at the 12th fret of the A string, and that's the first bar taken care of. Okay. The second bar is identical apart from that final 3 notes. Instead of the G, open A, we have A, 12th fret of the A string, pull off to the A, and then the A. So it's A, okay? So first time, G, A, second time, A, okay? So. For the third and fourth bars, we pretty much take that riff just up onto the next string, okay? So I won't work through every single note here, it's all there in the tab. We have... So that is exactly the same riff, just taken up a fourth, taken up onto the D string and G string. So... Then, for the final bar... And we come down, D, open D, C. So instead of the D, 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 which we would have had if we'd have done a straight repeat, we have D, open D, C, 10th fret of the D string. And that's it, that's the whole riff. So very, very slowly. And round. So, as I mentioned, if you just learn those notes as that consistent stream of eighth notes, the time signature kind of plays itself. But in terms of counting, 15/8 is basically 1/8 note less than 2 bars of 4/4. So 4/4 contains 8 eighth notes, 2 bars would be 16. So 15/8 is 1 less. There are many, many ways to count this. You could think of a bar of 4 and then a bar of 2 and 3/8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or maybe a bar of 4/4 and a bar of 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Or you can think of, 2 bars of 4/4 with that last one short. And it doesn't matter how you do it, you've basically got a bar of 4/4 and then a bar of 7/8. So if you apply that to the riff, you take that first bar of 4/4. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then the next part, you've got your bar of 2/4 there. So 1 and 2 and then you finally got that little 3 at the end of 3/8. Okay, so we're splitting it up into 3 parts really. Then. And then. Okay, so. So once you've got this up to speed, you can try along with the backing track. Now the counting here is pretty much a bar of 4/4 and then a bar of 7/8. So we've got a half-time bar, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're just getting on 1 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, finally, let's try a tough one. This is in 11/16 and it sounds like this. So what the heck is 11/16? Well, just as with the other time signatures, we can see it as a fraction, 11/16, which translates to 11/16 notes per bar. So if we were to count 4/4 in 16th notes, we'd have 1E under, 2E under, 3E under, 4E under. So those are the 16th notes. So then if we had 11/16, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in comparing the two, so we can hear how the 16ths relate, if we have a bar of 4/4 and then a bar of 11/16 straight after, we would have 1E under, 2E under, 3E under, 4E under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, again, just as with the other time signatures, counting 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that can get a little bit ponderous. So in this riff, we're going to count the rhythm as 2/4 and 3/16. So think of 2/4, that's 2 sets of 4, so that's 8, 8, 16, and then we add the 3 on the end. So 8 add 3 is 11. So we've got 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1E, and a 2E, and a 1, 2, 3, 1E, and a 2E, and a 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 3. So there's multiple ways that you can actually count it in terms of the subdivisions, but that's basically what we've got. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. Now, just before we try the notes there, let's just try counting along to the drum track, okay? So we only get 1 bar in with this. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1E, and a 2E, and a 1, 2, 3, 1E, and a 2E, and a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So we basically have these 3 accents. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then the last one is those 3 16s. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, ta 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 1, 2, ta ta 1, 2, ta ta 1, 2, ta ta. Okay? So now let's have a look at the notes in there. So we've pretty much only got 3 notes each bar here. So we're in C minor, and for the first bar we have C, G, and then down to the low G. So C, 3rd fret of the A string, G, 5th fret of the D string, and then G, 3rd fret of the E string. So 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3. So it might be worth just going round and round on that ostinato to get used to the timing. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and tick-a-ta 1, down, tick-a-ta 1, 2, tick-a-ta. Okay? For the second bar, we have exactly the same, but instead of the low G, we play the D there at the 5th fret of the A string. So 1, 2, tick-a-ta 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so we put those together, we have 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, round and round. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? So we repeat all of that, giving us 4 bars in total, and then we move the whole thing up to E flat. So this is going to be the 6th fret of the A string, followed by the B flat at the 8th fret of the D string. And then we just come straight back to the E flat. Okay, so 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, and then we just chromatically descend. We come down to the D and the A, so 5th fret A string, 7th fret on the D string. So, and then for the final note, we have D flat, 4th fret of the A string. So, tick-a-ta 1, 2, tick-a-ta, and then we're back to the C, G, G, C, G, D. Okay, and we play through that once to bring us back round. So, all of that together, slowly. 1, 2, tick-a-ta 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 1, 2, tick-a-ta, and we're back at the beginning. So you want to build up this riff quite slowly, away from the clicks or the tracks, focusing on that 2/4 plus 3/16 subdivision. Once you're up to speed, you can try with the tracks, which has a 1 bar counting of 2/4 and then a fill of 3/16. So let's try that. Okay, so that's some odd time fun for you to practice. Give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell, and let me know in the comments which odd time tunes you'd like me to cover. Remember, the lesson material and tracks are all there over at Talkingbass, so click on the link in the info below, and I'll see you next week.